Ola inks pact with Tamil Nadu. Karnataka's opposition questions why the state lost out. Industry honchos question Bombay government. Will Ola move impact polls? Top focus on 5 Live.
It's not a good look at any time, but it's especially not a good look right before the elections. Another big industrial corporation deciding to set up base in Tamil Nadu across the border instead of in Karnataka. Of course, it's a little more complicated than that, but the big question to ask before these elections in Karnataka are, is Karnataka losing investment? Is it losing the chance of employment? Is it losing the faith and belief of companies looking to establish their bases who are now choosing Tamil Nadu over Karnataka? What is the reality? What are the facts? I'm going to get into that. I'm Shiv. This is 5 Live. These are the headlines. Uddhav launches scathing attack on Shinde over symbol controversy, says Ram's Dhanush cannot be held by Ravan. Calls for dissolving election commission. Big controversy over the Congress's Gautam Das attack on Prime Minister Modi. Pawan Khera, spokesperson, down to name calling, insults Prime Minister Modi and his father. BJP says Congress stooping to new niche levels. Remember, Pawan Khera explicitly endorses what Mani Shankar Iyer has been saying for many years.
जब नरसिम्हा राव जी जेपीसी बना सकते थे, जब अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी जेपीसी बैठा सकते थे, तो नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी को क्या प्रॉब्लम? गौतम दास है दामोदर sorry.
CBI summons Manish Sisodia again on February the 26th in the Delhi liquor scam probe. Sisodia claims he could be arrested soon. Big diplomatic escalation amid the Russia-Ukraine war. US President Joe Biden makes surprise visit to war-torn Kyiv, sends out a strong message to Putin. Ex-Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan likely to be arrested today, arrested after he appears in the Lahore High Court. Imran likely to be sent to Islamabad post his arrest. Tensions rise in Lahore. And that is, in fact, the story we're starting with. Tension is building over the possible imminent arrest of former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. He's appearing before a Lahore court as we speak in connection with a foreign funding case, one of many cases that he's being tried in. Imran Khan left for court from Zaman Park a short while ago and is being will be in court very shortly. Security has been beefed up outside the court premises in Lahore. Remember, as a former Prime Minister, he does enjoy VIP security anyway. Reports suggest that Imran Khan could be arrested after he appears in court. So depending on how long the hearing takes inside that court, there is a good chance that Imran Khan will be detained or arrested by the local police. The arrest will be made by the Federal Investigation Agency of Pakistan if that happens. Post-arrest, if that happens, Imran Khan will be sent to Islamabad. Gaurav Sawant is with me live. He's been looking at this story very, very closely. Gaurav, the possibility of Imran Khan's arrest has been intensifying and escalating day by day as proceedings continue against him. According to sources, Gaurav, a 4-member team has been formed for the arrest of Imran Khan. So there is a good possibility of it happening right after his appearance in court right now.
Shiv, you're spot on. It could happen anytime. His arrest does appear imminent. It was on the cards. In fact, the entire last week, you'd remember, every other day people would be rushing to his house especially one after the other, when arrests were taking place, including of the former Federal Interior Minister and Railways Minister, Sheikh Rashid. The moment Sheikh Rashid was arrested, people thought Imran Khan is next and that arrest could happen anytime. And his supporters of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Party, they went and they surrounded his house and they said, over our dead body. So the situation in Pakistan was extremely, extremely grim. We are looking at these images. His supporters, and he now has a very large following in various sections within Pakistan, including a section of the Pakistan army, that's considered extremely Islamic. So the Islamists of Pakistan, especially the radical elements, whether they are in the legal fraternity, whether they are the youth, whether it's the middle class or the lower middle class, those who are facing the brunt of the massive increase in petrol prices, gas prices, oil prices shooting up, they are all flocking around Imran Khan. And this is where, Shiv, it becomes extremely interesting whether in the next couple of hours Imran Khan will be arrested, and if he is, what happens next?
That is the question one needs to ask, Gaurav, because everything surrounding Imran Khan for the last 6 to 7 months has been extremely turbulent. He faced bullets as well. He has demonstrated the ability to be able to mobilize large crowds. If he does get arrested, wouldn't that pose an immediate flare-up of a security situation in Pakistan cities, especially areas where the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is strong?
Shiv, it could well do that because Pakistan is facing a huge crisis. So Pakistan is facing an economic crisis. It's facing, a political crisis as we are looking at these images. Pakistan is also facing a military crisis. In the Pact border, there's live firing on. The Taliban's been firing at Pakistan. That border is shut from the Afghan side. So the Pakistan army is facing trouble there. There's also trouble from Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which the ruling regime or the PMLN considers very close to Imran Khan, because he was a very strong advocate of bringing TTP back in the mainstream. So right now Pakistan is in deep crisis. The International Monetary Fund is actually tightening the screws on Pakistan, and in all of this Imran Khan supporters are increasing, and not just in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, but mainly in Pakistan's Punjab province, which was seen as the stronghold of Shahbaz Sharif or Nawaz Sharif's party, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. But even there Imran Khan supporters are rising, and a section of Pakistan army. Remember, Imran Khan has virtually now been abusing General Qamar Javed Bajwa, the former chief of army staff, and yet there is a section in the army, or at least the retired fraternity, who are openly speaking out in favor of Imran Khan and Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, saying he's one man who's taking on the Americans or the IMF and standing up for Pakistani pride. So in case he's arrested, his followers may just come out on the streets in large numbers. So it remains to be seen, General Asim Munir, or the chief of the Pakistan army, what action does the Pakistan army take from this point on, because Shahbaz Sharif very clearly is not in control.
He's not in control, and Imran Khan has been taking very direct pot shots at the army leadership as well. These are images coming in from Ari News, which is a local TV station in Pakistan, of ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan appearing in court. He left from the Zaman Park area where he's staying in Lahore a short while ago. He's also said to have issued a statement to his party and supporters saying, "I respect the court." I mean, that's just a brief statement right before he makes that appearance there. A 4-member team of the Federal Investigation Agency of Pakistan has apparently been already mandated with handling the arrest. So he will be arrested by the Federal Investigation Agency in this entire funding case. Gaurav, can you tell us a little bit about this case that has, haunted Imran Khan ever since the coup that dethroned him last year? How serious is this case and why is it leading to his arrest?
So Shiv, there are multiple fires in Imran Khan's background, and each fire is going to singe him in the days and weeks ahead. The immediate case the case about the Tosha Khana, where he stands accused of stealing gifts, and it's a very strong charge. Stealing gifts from that were given to Pakistan when he was Prime Minister of Pakistan. Those gifts that were given to him, he had those gifts sold off in other countries, and instead of that money going to the Tosha Khana, that money was pocketed by Imran Khan and his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party. That's one case. There's another case where he's abusing and threatening officials of the Election Commission of Pakistan, accusing them of working at the behest of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and the Pakistan Army. He's also abusing a section of the Pakistan Army, which incidentally is an offence in Pakistan, which invites not just a fine of up to 10 lakh rupees, but also imprisonment of up to 5 years in prison. So Imran Khan is facing a number of cases. Remember, he's been barred from contesting elections. That again is being contested because of his corruption cases. And yet he says, I'm the most popular. Imran Khan claims he's the most popular Prime Minister or man in Pakistan at this point of time. And if he stands at every seat of the Pakistan National Assembly, he will win from every seat, whether it's in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which is seen as a stronghold, or the Punjab province, or Sindh, Balochistan, or even, he claims in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, including Gilgit and Baltistan. So very, very clearly, Imran Khan is now being seen as that rallying point of all Pakistanis who are against Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and the spike in prices of essential commodities across Pakistan, Shiv.
Okay, so multiple fires, as Gaurav put it, burning in Imran Khan's backyard. The biggest of which is this funding case that has haunted Imran Khan for the last many months, and we now know that it is possibly going to be leading to his arrest as well. A 4-member team of the Federal Investigation Agency is said to be standing by to swoop in and pick up Imran Khan after the hearing. One is not aware about whether it's going to be contingent on what happens in court, but these are images from outside the court. Take a look at the huge crowd that has assembled. Imran Khan, a deeply polarizing figure, but one who does call the power to mobilize large crowds wherever he goes, and that is surely being demonstrated in Lahore as well. We're going to put that, going to tell our viewers that this is Lahore that we're talking about, where Imran Khan will be appearing at the court very, very shortly. These are images of just a few minutes ago. You can see Imran Khan getting into that car in Zaman Park, and he will be in court very shortly. But already it's a hugely chaotic and emergent situation outside the court, with all of these people, mostly supporters, one is guessing, gathered in large numbers in a show of solidarity with Imran Khan. Imran Khan's hearing, it's not clear how long that hearing is going to take, but it is a funding case where he does face arrest, and that's the reason why the Federal Investigation Agency is standing by to arrest him. The situation in Pakistan is already extremely grim. Remember, this is a country that has never been more on its knees, economically speaking, than it is now. It's a country that is just 3 weeks ago from being declared completely bankrupt and defaulting on its external debt obligations. This is a country where riots have broken out in different cities because of non-availability of essential items like wheat and rice. This is a country that has barely a few weeks of foreign exchange left for imports, and remember, it's an economy that completely survives on imports. Its trade deficit is completely lopsided. It exports very little and imports pretty much everything else. China and Saudi Arabia have Pakistan by the collar, and all of this happens at the time when the country is in this enormous crisis. So the backdrop cannot be ignored. By far the most popular Prime Minister Pakistan has had in a long time is about to be arrested. A very, very problematic character, both for Pakistan and for the region. But his arrest is likely to send shockwaves across Pakistan, and that is not least because of the massive following that he continues to enjoy. He has rubbed the army the wrong way, and in Pakistan, being arrested is oftentimes a one-way ticket into oblivion. It could spell the end of your political career, if not your life. So we'll have to see where exactly this goes. Gaurav, quickly coming back to you, Do we have a sense of how long the case hearing could take today before that possible arrest that we're looking at?
Shiv, not just as yet. In fact, there are conflicting reports coming in from Pakistan on the hearing and subsequent action in Pakistan. But as you very rightly pointed out, the economic crisis in Pakistan has people actually on the edge. And the International Monetary Fund is still not impressed. They want Pakistan to do more. The world wants Pakistan to do more on action against terror, which Pakistan doesn't do. They want Pakistan to do more in terms of increasing taxes and giving subsidy only to the poorest of the poor. So they're not satisfied with that. Amidst this, Shiv, there are reports within the Pakistani media that the IMF also wants Pakistan to right-size their army. They think that the army is taking too much of Pakistan's money, that should actually go into development of that country. So will Pakistan army actually be reduced, will be cut down to size, or will something be orchestrated right now? Remember, there's been there have been some attacks that have taken place. In all of this chaos, the people in Pakistan are gravitating towards Imran Khan, and that is something that not just Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, but also Pakistan Army realizes, because it's after a very long time that a leader has been able to criticize the Pakistan Army and, at least for now, get away with it. But will he get away with it, or will he end up in jail the way some of his ministers have landed in jail, and after being in jail, they're singing a different tune? So the next couple of hours will be extremely interesting in Pakistan, Shiv.
Gaurav, we'll come back to you once we have more information from that court. But these are the dramatic images playing out outside that courthouse in Lahore right now, with the possibility of Imran Khan's imminent arrest once that hearing is over. We'll get straight back to that story at lightning speed as soon as we know more. Now to our big focus story on 5 Live. An interstate political war between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka has erupted over ride-sharing service Ola's supercharged multi-crore electric vehicle plant deal. Well, Ola Electric signed a memorandum of understanding with the Tamil Nadu government to set up that facility. And this has angered Karnataka no end. The opposition there says, as usual, another big industry has chosen Tamil Nadu instead of being in Karnataka. They're questioning the Bombay government as to why this so-called Silicon Valley, from where Ola started its journey, has failed to bag this lucrative deal that would generate hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs. Here's a report.
Karnataka's loss is Tamil Nadu's big gain. Ola Electric has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Tamil Nadu government to set up an auto plant, picking the state over Karnataka. According to the MOU, the electric vehicle plant planned by Ola will be the world's largest. Ola is likely to invest 7,614 crore rupees in the project. The plant will manufacture battery cells, two-wheelers and four-wheelers. The whole project will be spread across 2,000 acres in Tamil Nadu. The investment is expected to generate more than 3,000 direct jobs. The Ola deal with Tamil Nadu government has sparked a political showdown in Karnataka. The opposition is asking the Basavaraj Bommai government why Karnataka, from where Ola started its journey, failed to back the deal. The Congress is accusing the BJP government in the state of policy paralysis.
It's a big loss. A lot of companies are going from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu to Telangana because this government has totally failed. 40% commission government. They have to pay money for the government. They have to pay money for the ministers. They have to pay for the officers. So that's what we have been telling. This government is total of corruption. So people are moving around from Karnataka.
The opposition lashed out at the BJP for its focus on Hindutva instead of development.
We are losing thousands of jobs, crores of investments. And who's responsible for this? So what kind of investment environment is the current government giving? It goes to show that they are more interested in their 40% rather than the people's, investments coming into Karnataka and creating jobs for the people of Karnataka.
For the BJP, already under pressure over corruption charges, the loss of a big-ticket investment ahead of elections this year is an embarrassment.
Congress government, Congress people are murmuring only corruption, corruption, corruption. They are not ready to discuss in the floor of the house. They are not producing any documents. Still, they are murmuring. They are giving all the information in front of media only.
Even businessmen who were sympathetic to the ruling party are pointing fingers at the Bombay government. Manipal Global Education's chairman Mohandas Pai has expressed his disappointment over the loss of the EV plant.
Electric vehicle manufacturing Ola company have moved out of Karnataka and started an establishment in Tamil Nadu. Congress has hit out at BJP government stating that it is because of the corruption they have lost crores of money as well as employment. But the BJP have justified stating that the Ola company had a lot of demands, including a huge land in the city of Bengaluru, which was impossible, and that might be one of the reasons why Ola has moved out. With video journalist Madhu Sagaras reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
Now, before we go to our guests and experts, I just wanted to give you a sense of the perception of Karnataka versus Tamil Nadu, the comparison of their strengths and weaknesses in the eyes of investors and those wanting to set up companies and establishments. In Karnataka, the big pros, it's India's IT hub, it has special economic zones, it has a vast pool of skilled manpower, it has or is supposed to have advanced infrastructure. The cons, however, in Karnataka, it has bad roads. There are lots of power cuts in various areas. There's a lot of flooding and illegal construction. Communal polarization, etc. happens in certain parts of the state as well. Tamil Nadu, on the other hand, the pros, it's home to multiple industries, including automobiles and chemicals, and has been for many decades together. It has a large port, skilled manpower, developed infrastructure already, which is a basis for its ability to lure more investment. The cons, however, there are industrial and social disputes, and there is continuing to be a language barrier in many ways, which is politically fueled. But those are just the overview facts as far as Karnataka versus Tamil Nadu is concerned. But Ola moving out from Karnataka and choosing to set up its electric vehicle factory in Tamil Nadu, the battery factory in Tamil Nadu, is by all means and by all perspectives a blow to Karnataka, no matter which way you look at it. Joining me live, Mohan Vishwa, spokesperson of the ruling BJP, Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the opposition Congress, and Chetan Bhutani, who's associate editor, Business Today TV. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining me. Mohan, coming to you first, is this a one-off? Is there a way to explain this? Because Ola, having started its ride, its spectacular journey in Karnataka, choosing to, go across the border for what is going to be a futuristic, lucrative, facility, looks terrible for Karnataka.
See, Shiv, here I want to discuss two things. One is the technical point. As your reporter was telling, they were in need of 2,000 acres of land in and around Bangalore, which was not that much possible. That was a clarification given by the secretary way back a year ago. And we offered land at other places. See, we as a Karnataka are looking out at Karnataka as an overall development, not only as Bangalore. But now, because of the technical issue, the project moved out of Karnataka. That too, they are having there, they are constructing a plant somewhere near Dharmapuri, if I'm not wrong, which is only 2 hours from Bangalore again, and which is very far from Chennai, which is very far from Coimbatore.
But it's still, not in Karnataka.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. But these are the technical reasons. They were very much adamant that they said, they need in and around Bangalore only. So that was a technical point. And the second point which I want to make is, you look at, I laugh at Mr. Priyanka Kharge when he was ITBT minister. He was not able to do anything for the state of Karnataka. Now he's coming out and he's making an issue out of it. Come on. Karnataka has received $21 billion worth of FDI in just financial year 21-22. Whereas during the Congress rule between 5 years, between 2018 and 2023, for the entire 5 years, they were able to receive $120 billion. Okay. And also recently we had a global investor meet where 10 lakh crores worth of MOUs have been signed. And forget that, you take an example of, the Aero Show where 80,000 crores worth of deal has been made, and also Bangalore is aerospace hub. More than 65% of the defense equipments and aerospace equipments are being manufactured over here.
But that has been over many years and decades. But yeah, okay, I take your point. I take your point. Let me get Aishwarya in. Aishwarya, the BJP says this is, there's a technical point to this. Ola was adamant they wanted to be near Bengaluru, and that's why they've chosen to go to Hosur, which is only 40 kilometers from Bengaluru, and this has nothing to do with anything else. Your party says that this is, a trend of exoduses of big industries out of Karnataka and into Tamil Nadu. How do you explain that?
Before I answer that, I think Mohan Vishwa obviously had a sheet of points to rant off. And if you want to talk about Priyank Kharge as IT-BT minister, not only did he have a comprehensive IT-BT startup policy also, it's one of the reasons that a large amount of these investments even came to the state, and Bangalore actually became a destination, and you cannot take away from it one. The second thing is, Shiv, let's talk about one thing. A few years ago, during the coalition government, when a large corporation moved out, what did the BJP talk about? They said, oh, no, this is because coalition governments are unstable, they create instability. You need a single party run government here. We'll give you a double engine sarkar. We'll give you one in the center. We'll give you one here. Today, the situation in my state is not only are you mired by 40% commission and corruption all around, you have a state that is obviously riddled in debt, where a majority portion of, so much so of your GSDP, that the majority portion of all your money from your budget is going into debt financing. And if you look at investments, let me give you statistics. You can read a statistic. You may read up on this. Bangalore and Karnataka used to account for 50% of all investment. That has dropped by over 20% recently with this double engine sarkar.
Okay.
Today, all we ask you is very simply this. If you want to still have Bangalore or Karnataka be relevant for anything besides corruption, the government should have done enough to retain this.
Aishwarya, are you saying that there is a way? I want to keep it as specific as possible to Ola before I bring Chetan in. Aishwarya, are you saying there should have been a way to keep Ola in Karnataka, and that this technical point doesn't hold if they wanted to be near Bengaluru? Because that is a point of consideration. If that much land wasn't available, where would they have gone?
Shiv, the fact of the matter is, Ola basically not only started up their battery park in Karnataka, tell me why, when they were willing to set up a battery park, that they did not take the decision of setting up their unit also in Karnataka. Obviously, there has to be some sort of factors besides land or area or whatever that has led to it. Land cannot be the singular reason, because now they're in Dharmapuri, nowhere close to the capital, which is Chennai. Here, they wanted to be close to the capital for some reason. Why have they settled for lower in Chennai? Because they don't have the commission, they don't have the massive corruption that the BJP is riddled in.
So Aishwarya is saying that it's corruption and infrastructure that has driven them across the border. I'll come to you, Mohan, for just a response. I want to get Chetan Bhutani for just a moment to get a non-political view on this, because he covers the sector as well. Chetan, I want to ask you directly and very, very specifically, because I want to keep it specific. Is this bad for Karnataka? You cover this sector. Obviously, this is technically advantage Tamil Nadu because the facility gets set up in Hosur, which is in TN. How does this look? Before the elections, how does this look as far as Karnataka is concerned?
Well, Shiv, you're absolutely bang on when you say that, it is indeed a big loss for Karnataka, because let me inform our viewers that Karnataka was one of the first states in India to have a dedicated electric vehicle policy. Now it eventually loses out to about 3,000 odd direct jobs. And if we talk about direct jobs, it could be more than about 2,000 to 3,000 more. So, Shiv, it's also important from the technological aspect of the sector to understand how will this affect India's electric vehicle ecosystem. Well, localizing the critical elements of the EV supply chain, such as batteries, will make EVs more affordable. While India has only a fraction of raw materials that are needed to satisfy the domestic demand. In fact, a forecast by CRISIL has in fact shown that the growth of EVs in India is slated to grow by 100-fold to 2030. Well, it's also important to know, Shiv, that if Ola has to start rolling out its electric cars by 2024, the company would need a stable manufacturing policy and, of course, a reliable supply chain, because remember, Ola was eventually caught up with some fire issues in its scooter, for which they had to issue a recall. So correctly, Ola needed a stable policy regime. They needed a place which could probably have more stable business environment.
I'm assuming, I'm also assuming that, with the establishment of this Ola facility, Mohan, I'm coming to you. You can respond to Aishwarya, that with the establishment of this facility, it will also have a sort of cascading effect. Other industries interested in being part of the electric vehicle ecosystem will similarly set up base there, and then it will have a kind of chain reaction advantage as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. So it's not just about Ola, it will be others involved in this kind of, future-facing technology. Mohan, go ahead. Yes.
Sure, I can't understand how Congress person can make that kind of a statement that land is hardly any criteria for that matter. Come on, land is the basic criteria. That can happen. If the technical issue is there, the deal doesn't happen over there. I want to recall one incident in 2015 when Siddaramaiah was the chief minister. See, the Chinese government called 3 chief ministers from India, Mr. Siddaramaiah, and also the Gujarat chief minister, and also Maharashtra chief minister, where the Foxconn wanted to invest in India just because he wanted to go along with Narendra Modi. Siddaramaiah never went over there because of an ego issue. There was no technical issue at all, and Karnataka lost Foxconn and it went to Maharashtra. Now they are doing a chip conductor manufacturing in Gujarat, along with Vedanta. So for the sake of ego, he lost 50,000 jobs in Karnataka. There was no technical reason for that matter. Okay, during his regime, the FDI from ISIS or other terrorist organizations used to come to Karnataka, not from these kind of companies. Please understand. And Karnataka received 21 billion in only 1 year, whereas Congress used to receive hardly 20 billion. And Aishwarya spoke about, the unicorns and startups. There are 107 unicorns across India. Out of 107, 40 is there in Karnataka. Out of 40, 31 unicorn happened after 2019. Please do understand. Okay. The Karnataka is based for investment and people are coming over and investing. It's fully a technical issue, unlike Congress, where for the sake of ego, we lost a bigger opportunity for Foxconn in the year 2015. Those kind of things should not come into picture. And please, if you see India as a whole, I hope Congress at least now they understand Make in India is working.
Aishwarya, go ahead. Multiple charges at you saying that this is a one-off technical issue. It's a flash in the pan. Certainly unfortunate, but definitely not representative of any, large trend of industries leaving Karnataka for Tamil Nadu. And they're saying that the Congress is no one to speak.
Foxconn was in preliminary talks and the Taiwanese Mohan, and the fact of the matter is nothing came to fruition. It was a conversation that was had, and then they decided that there were other places that it could invest in. If you believe or if you want to spread the fake news that Mr. Siddaramaiah was responsible for it, then I think it's extremely shameful that you're doing it on a responsible national channel. One. Second thing is, if you want to talk about one entity, fine, Shiv, you're talking about one unit. You still can't tell me why they were okay with working here last year and suddenly they're not. And the other thing is, tell me why investments have dropped from over 50%. From what used to be half of the country's investment, we have basically come down to less than 20 or 25%, if I'm not wrong, at this point. And it's not one company that's brought it down. And the state today also, if you're looking at what they proposed for us in the budget, tell me what has been a positive step for any sort of development. You basically allocate everything to renaming and basically reintroducing schemes that should have been done over 3 years. And today, the fact of the matter is Karnataka and Kannadigas have lost opportunities. The hue and cry they made when Apple decided that they would not come here, and the way that they said a coalition government is singularly at fault for this. Why is it today that the opposition cannot ask the government the same? They have a double engine sarkar, of course. They have progress, Vikas, Amrit Kal from the top to bottom. And yet my state is suffering where only for Upper Bhadra project I got something. As an offshoot, I get a little bit from railways. But what have they done for the people of Karnataka? Absolutely nothing. This is eyewash.
With elections only a few weeks ago, this pinch turns into an actual sort of festering wound. Can the BJP sell this to the public as a technical one-off, or is it going to be, become a bigger issue because there are elections ahead over job loss and, the state of infrastructure in Karnataka? All of that will play out. It will become a big issue. I was in Karnataka over the weekend as well. Many issues to talk about, and I can promise you that here on 5 Live, till the elections, every single day, we'll be picking up at least one issue. So Mohan, Chetan, Aishwarya, thank you very much for being with me. See you back here on 5 Live very, very soon. Quick break here on the news. Coming up on the other side, big diplomatic escalation just ahead of the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. President Biden makes a surprise visit to Ukraine's capital, walks with President Zelensky. We'll tell you what happened when he was there right after this break.
जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है.
Leader must have a vision.
We will continue to work with the developing and the developed world for win-win solutions.
Nature had of course willed the survival of the fittest.
हम आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी को अपनाए हुए हैं.
1 साल के अंदर राहुल कन्वर की कार जो होगी वो इलेक्ट्रिक की होगी.
There is a confrontation of competing visions.
Filmmaker Todd Phillips has unveiled the first look of Lady Gaga in a scene with Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker from the upcoming film Joker, Folie à Deux. The film will reportedly also feature Catherine Keener, Brendan Gleeson and Zazie Beetz.
It's so awful, isn't it?
The Joker sequel is scheduled to release in theatres on 4th October 2024.
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed. But I do.
Sports drama Ted Lasso is all set to return with the third season.
Oh, yeah, no?
The makers have now released a teaser. Latest season will focus on the newly promoted AFC Richmond, which is trolled as the media predictions widely peg them as last in the Premier League, and Nate, now hailed as the Wonder Kid, has gone to work for Rupert at West Ham United.
Well, if seeing is believing, I believe we've been seen.
The series stars Jemmy Swift, Phil Dunster, Toheb Jimo, Christo Fernandez, Kola Bokini, Billy Harris and James Lance. Ted Lasso Season 3 will premiere on 15th March.
Oh, yeah, no?
Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
As Ukraine marks the first anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of the country in 2022, let's take a look at the top 5 developments on a day when President Biden stopped by for a surprise unannounced visit. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the First Lady Olena Zelenska honored the memory of the heroes of the Euromaidan revolution. The couple placed icon lamps near the cross at the site of the death of the heroes of the Heavenly 100 in Insyutska Street in the center of Kyiv. Air raid sirens blared across the Ukrainian capital as President Biden made his unannounced surprise stop to the Ukrainian capital for talks with President Zelensky, but there were no reports of Russian missiles or airstrikes during his stopover. Reports The port city of Mariupol fell to Russian forces after nearly 86 days of fighting, and Moscow has since been demolishing and rebuilding to create a new city. The images on your screen are of a battered monument of Ukrainian poet Taras Shevchenko in occupied Mariupol. 9 people were injured in Russia-controlled Donetsk after heavy shelling took place in the region. The shells hit the prosecutor's office and residential buildings, including small shops in the area. Meanwhile, Russian-installed authorities blamed Ukrainian artillery for the attack. Ahead of the one-year anniversary of the conflict in Ukraine, Russian forces targeted Ukraine's Bakhmut. Visuals on your screen show damaged properties and piles of debris, while explosions were heard in the city amidst continued fighting. Remember, Russia has recently intensified its push to capture all of the eastern industrial heartland of the Donbas, where Bakhmut is located. And I want to go across now to Lisa Yasko. She's a member of parliament in Ukraine, and she joins me live from that country. Lisa, welcome. Thank you very much for being with us. It's hard to imagine that it's already been a year, isn't it, Lisa, of the invasion of your country by Russia. President Biden was in Kyiv today. Your thoughts and your perspective on this visit by the US president, on a day like today, Lisa.
You're absolutely right. It's been a year since the war has started almost, and it's been actually 9 years since our Euromaidan revolution, when we as young people were standing for European values in the central squares around the whole Ukraine. And today, the fact that Joe Biden secretly arrived with unannounced visit symbolically is very important for Ukrainians, because we feel that we're not alone, and we feel that military support is coming. And this is something that is very much needed as the first and foremost important thing.
Lisa, but are there demands and requirements from Ukraine, from either the United States or NATO, that are not being met just yet? We do know that President Biden has made a lot of promises. We do know that many of the things like weapons and systems have come into Ukraine. But are there other requirements that are not being met right now?
You know, last 3 days there was a Munich security conference where I was present, and this is exactly what we were discussing there. And the answer is, if it was enough, then the war would be over. So it means that it's not enough, and we need to keep fighting for protecting our freedom. But not only, we also need to make sure that the Russia will not be attacking again, and that requires a lot of efforts of the united world. And I'm really asking also for Indian help and the help from Indian government and Indian society. We really need your support also, and we are very grateful when you provide such support. It's very important for us.
Can you tell us what the current situation is in the big cities of Ukraine, Lisa? You know, when here on India Today, we covered the Ukraine conflict for well over 3-4 months last year, from February all the way till July. It was our biggest story here, especially in the Indian media. Now it seems like the violence is continuing in many parts. It has become much more scattered, but one doesn't get a close sense of how bad the damage is. Can you give us an overview of what the situation currently is as far as the conflict is concerned?
Situation in the east and in the south is very hard. There are a lot of deaths and killed people, and destroyed villages, destroyed lives, destroyed infrastructure, destroyed roads, destroyed factories, destroyed farms. But not only in the east or in the south, but in the east and the south, this is the most dramatic parts at these days. I mean, the recent days. Life in Kiev is very special, because in some way the life goes on, but in another way there is no electricity. Most of the time there is no heating, there is no water in most of the buildings. There are special schedules, and many of us, including me, we are not actually able to live in our homes where we used to live, because there is simply no electricity there, and when there is -10 outside, it's very hard. Sirenas are all the time, air shelling, they happen quite often. Thanks God today our air defense protected us, so there were no air missiles coming, but they do come very often, and it's very scary.
Lisa Yasko, stay safe. Thank you very much for your perspective here on India Today. We will continue to track all events through the anniversary of this terrible event that continues to fester in your country. Thank you, Lisa, for joining me here on 5 Live. Now, 4 days ahead of the first anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, US President Joe Biden landed in Kyiv. Those are pictures of him walking there with President Zelensky of Ukraine. It's a surprise visit. Biden was seen not only walking with the Ukrainian president, but also holding talks with him and his leadership in the city square. The visit signals a big diplomatic escalation. The 24th of February marks 1 year of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The US president has promised big consignments of arms to the country, including artillery ammunition, anti-armor systems, and air surveillance radars. Biden minced no words in sending out a big warning to Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying that Putin may have thought that the West was divided, but he was dead wrong. Here's what he said.
We united the leading economies of the world to impose unprecedented costs that are squeezing Russia's economic lifelines. Together, we've committed nearly 700 tanks and thousands of armored vehicles, 1,000 artillery systems, more than 2 million rounds of artillery ammunition, more than 50 advanced launch rocket systems, anti-ship and air defense systems, all defend Ukraine, and that doesn't count the other $500 million we're announcing with you today and tomorrow. Russia's economy is now a backwater, isolated and struggling. Putin thought Ukraine was weak and the West was divided. As you know, Mr. President, I said to you in the beginning, he's counting on us not sticking together. He was counting on the inability to keep NATO united. He was counting on us not to be able to bring in others on the side of Ukraine. You know, 1 year later, Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands. Democracy stands. The Americans stand with you, and the world stands with you. Kyiv has captured a part of my heart, I must say.
I thank to the President of the United States for supporting our work on restoring the justice, more specifically in the work of all of our institutions in that area. And we believe there's no alternatives to the establishment of the special tribunal. This is the position of of Ukraine, and we shall support this position. Over 60 other countries will be submitting for the consideration of the UN General Assembly of the draft resolution on supporting peace in Ukraine. And on the eve of the 24th of February, Ukraine is grateful to you, Mr. President, to all the US citizens, to all those who cherish freedom just as we cherish them. Glory to our warriors, glory to our allies, and glory to Ukraine.
Let's go straight across to India. Today is Gaurav Sawant, the first Indian journalist in Ukraine. He spent the maximum time in that country. Also with us is our National Bureau Chief, Abhishek Bhalla, who also travelled in different parts of Ukraine, reporting the conflict and getting us a ground situation report on where things actually stood. Gaurav, 4 days before the anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine, President Biden lands there. It's an unannounced visit. What are you making of it? He has made all the right noises. He has, told Putin that he is dead wrong. He's announced all these weapons for Ukraine. But it doesn't look like Ukraine is very impressed. The Munich Security Conference that happened recently, appears to suggest that symbolism had its time, but now action needs to happen. We'll go to Gaurav in just a moment. Abhishek, you want to take that question if you heard it?
Well, Shiv, yes, it's true that this visit is extremely symbolic, and Ukraine has been getting a lot of packages from the US. The latest one coming only last month, 3.75 billion in all. Over 113 billion has been given to Ukraine. But now Ukraine wants to push this further. They've been demanding that they should be given the US F-16s. That they believe that's what will be extremely crucial and would be the game changer in changing the status quo in this war. US non-committal on that. There are voices in the US, especially the conservative Republican voices, that are saying that yes, Ukrainian fighter pilots need to be trained on the F-16s, but the US hasn't really shown any commitment towards that. Even though today Joe Biden once again reinforced that there will be fresh deliveries of several military platforms to Ukraine, there was no specific mention of the F-16s. But with new deliveries continuing, one thing is for sure, Shiv, that this battle isn't coming to an end anytime soon. And I think the biggest takeaway from Joe Biden's address and Zelensky's address was, in fact, that they are getting ready for another long haul. It's already been 1 year, and with the way things are going it doesn't seem that this war is going to end anytime soon. We could well be doing a discussion a year down the line, talking about 2 years of this war.
Okay, and we've got some breaking news coming in. Biden has just left the Ukraine after 5 hours in that country. It was a 5-hour-long visit. He met with President Zelensky. He has vowed to supply arms and ammunition as well as surveillance radars. So he spent 5 hours in that country and he has just departed. Abhishek, coming back to you, Biden there for 5 hours. It'll be interesting now to see whether Putin responds, because Biden had a few, choice words of warning for the Russian president as well.
Well, that's right, and there has been no Russian response, but two things that stood out in that address and in this visit, Shiv, was one that, of course, there will be a new announcement of fresh deliveries, and the other was how the US has worked to put together a coalition to defend Ukraine. That's a big statement coming from the US president, and it will be interesting to see how Russia responds to this. If at all, all these countries that are sort of providing aid are part of a coalition against Russia, then we can well expect Russia to give some kind of a response. And as we've been saying, it certainly means that there is no end to this war.
Okay, like that ominous note that Abhishek just mentioned, and as someone who was on the ground covering the Ukraine war for nearly 2 months, saying that we might well be here a year from now, talking about the second anniversary of this invasion. That's the kind of grind this entire conflict has become. That's very, very dangerous. It means it may not even have an end. Terrible, terrible prospect, but that's how modern conflict really is. Thanks very much, Abhishek, for getting us the latest on that. 24th of February is the anniversary of the invasion. And finally, as the death toll crosses over 46,000 in the Turkey and Syria earthquakes, heart-wrenching images have come in from the devastating quake zone in Turkey. Red balloons hover over Rubble as a tribute to children who died in the earthquake. Here's a report.
Destruction, death, but also hope and survivors. Rescue teams have saved numerous lives, in some cases absolute miracle stories of people being pulled out days after being buried under the rubble. And now here's a heartbreaking video from Hatay in Turkey that's being shared worldwide. Volunteers have now attached red balloons over the rubble as a gesture of paying tribute to all those who've died. The red balloons, seen attached to various metal wires and debris, is in memory of some of the child victims in the quake. One of the volunteers named this initiative as My Last Present to Children.
Çocuklara son hediyem olmasını istedim.
Every time we tie a balloon, my heart hurts. We have tied 1,000 to 1,500 balloons so far, but we will hopefully continue until we reach all parts of the city, until we reach every home of the children who lost their lives.
İnanın kalbim o kadar acıyor.
The number of red balloons floating over the rubble shows the heartbreaking reality of how many children's lives were cut so brutally short by this calamity. Nearly 2 weeks after this disaster struck, many still are hoping against hope that their loved ones can be still pulled out alive. With Aishwarya Radhakrishnan, Bureau Report, India Today.
Can we really untangle the politics of hair? This art campaign by artist Rohit Chawla comes with a social commentary. This rebellious work with an interactive element challenges those who try to corner women and their agency.
If you look at our